Hey everybody, it's Ryan Gibbons with the Gibbons team at eXp Realty, and I am here with your Bergen County real estate market update. I typically do these for a month, but with the pandemic that we are in the middle of, I felt it was more appropriate just to look at it in the last 2 weeks. So we're going to look at the last 2 weeks of March, really when this thing started, and get an idea of what's happening right now. So the things that we want to look at are new listings, under contract listings, because that's really showing us what's happening right now. So let's compare the last 2 weeks of March of this year to the last 2 weeks of March in 2019. Now keep in mind, this should be the busy time. This is when listings should be hitting. This is when buyers should be fighting over each other to purchase houses. So let's take a look at the numbers. So in 2020, the last 2 weeks, we saw 271 new homes hit the market. Sounds nice, except when you look at that there were 651 homes that hit the market in that same time frame. And that is a huge drop. That is actually a 58% drop in the amount of new listings that hit in Bergen County last 2 weeks as opposed to last year. So that trend will likely continue. We'll talk about that and what that means for sellers in a minute. Next thing we want to look at is under contract. So under contracts in the last 2 weeks of 20, we saw 279. In 2019, we saw 432. Now, one thing to keep in mind, so that is the house is under contract. We also have another 157 people that have an accepted offer. So if you add the 279 and the 157, you actually have more under contract and in attorney review or accepted offer than we did last year. Now, will all of those pan out? We don't know. But it does mean that people are still buying houses. And again, we'll talk about how that's actually happening in a minute. So people are still buying houses. We're just seeing a drastic decrease in the amount of new homes on the market. So what does this mean for buyers and sellers? For sellers, people are still buying. If you have to sell your house, if you're upgrading or downgrading, or you absolutely need to sell your house, there are still buyers out there. My advice for you is if you do not need to move, don't. Wait. Most economists, most people that are watching the real estate industry are saying that probably sometime in the summer into the fall is when we're really going to have our quote unquote spring market. So once this economy does get better, once the pandemic is more under control, that pent up demand will come back. So if you're thinking about selling and you don't, my suggestion, wait. If you do need to sell, there are methods to get it done. So what we're doing to help get houses sold in this current climate is we're doing more virtual tours. So we're doing virtual open houses, Facebook walkthroughs, 360 videos of properties. So people can view the home, get a good feel for the home from the comfort of their own home. So we're trying to minimize the amount of people that are actually showing. Now, in the state of New Jersey, we are not allowed to do open houses. They are forbidden. We cannot have groups of people coming through houses, but we can do virtual open houses. We can allow people to see things differently than they would have before. And honestly, people are buying houses without ever walking into them. So it is possible to sell houses that way. We are allowed to do showings. So one-on-one showings, not with groups of people, but we can show homes in certain situations. We need to be careful. We need to use our social distancing and make sure things are sterilized, but we can show homes. So there are opportunities for sellers. So if you are in that situation where you have to sell, please give me a call today and we'll talk about your options. My number is 201-446-8190. Happy to talk about the options that we have to get your house sold in this current climate. Buyers, it's still opportunity. We're seeing a decrease in the amount of homes for sale, which is unfortunate, but rates are still low and there are opportunities for you. So we're seeing most of the action that's happening under 500,000. So in looking at the houses that are in attorney review, 79 of those were actually 500 and below, and 130 of the under contracts are 500 and below. So there are still people buying. There are still opportunities. Like I said, for the sellers, there are opportunities to do virtual showings. So we can show you properties, but we'd rather do virtual showings so you can get a feel for the property and get an understanding if this really does work for you. So these are trying times. It's changing the real estate industry. We need to keep that in mind, but we are adapting. My company is built for this. We have not changed anything. We are set up to be working virtually. So really for eXp Realty, nothing has changed, but our methods of getting people to the table are very different. Do you want to talk a little bit about the lending side of things? That is changing pretty much every day. I have seen that credit score thresholds are being increased. Lending is getting a little bit tighter. So if you are kind of on the borderline, you're going to want to talk to your lender and find out where you fit. So if you are looking at an FHA loan or some government-backed loan, things could be different for you. So you are going to want to have that candid conversation with your lender. But properties are still closing. We are still able to get people to the closing table. It's just a little bit different than it has been in the past. So in conclusion, I hope everyone is being safe. I hope you're having a good day. If you are in the market for selling or buying, please give me a call. I'd like to get a little bit deeper into these stats and talk about how I can help you get to where you want to be in your real estate goals. So again, Ryan Gibbons of the Gibbons Team, eXp Realty. My number is 201-446-8190. We'll talk to you soon.